Hello everyone, my name is Elizaveta. I work for Relocode, and today we are talking about the technician CV, the technician resume. What is it different? How is it different from other CVs that you just use for job applications, and what should be included or excluded from the technician resume? So when I help applicants to prepare their applications for the global talent visa, many of them just want to use their regular resume for the application, which I think is completely wrong because there are some things that you really need to think about, and there are some things that usual job application CVs do not have, and the technician CV must have. Let's start speaking about something that they have in common. So basically, both CVs, they should include your photo. Really, they should include your email and your address, and they both should include all your professional record. But you need to note that when you're talking about the technician CV, you only should include relevant professional experience. So if you have worked as a bartender, for example, when you were a student, this is not something that you need to include in your technician resume, really. So these are things that they have in common. But when you are writing a technician CV, you need to understand that there are things that you have to include there. And usually CVs do not have this. So firstly is a summary about what the company does. So for example, you write that you work in Facebook, right? And you need to write a summary what this company does. For example, company name. This is a tech startup, for example, that was based in Turkey, right? Or this is the company specializing in this, and that. This is something that you really need to do. Also, you really need to include the country where you're currently based. And when you write about your job, right, you track your professional record, you need to do it maybe in slightly different way than when you do it for your job application CV, because you need to list your roles and write about your impact to the company, about your achievements, and about the outcome and the outcomes of your work. So I worked in Facebook, I did this, and that. So, and the company achieved, right, due to my work, the company could do this, and that. So it's very important to do that. You need to make those like very clear and separate like the roles. So maybe you have worked as a product manager, but in like a half a year, in 6 months, you became a CPO of the company. So you need to include this information about your work as a product manager and as a CPO, right? For example, it is also very important to note that many CVs, many resumes, they include education and technical skills. These are very like controversial things about the technician CV because like I personally not always add education and technical skills because there is a limit actually. So your CV should be 3 pages long, 3 A4 pages long, and sometimes there is no room for that. And this is not that important, especially when you are not talking about like your scientific impact. It is not always needed. But yeah, if you have a room for that, you should include your education. And talking about the technical skills, this is also very controversial. Sometimes I add this, sometimes not, because it is very important to show, right, you like your technical expertise. And many people think that you can do this through adding technical skills to your CV, but it's not always the case. And for example, if we are talking about the business applicant, it is irrelevant sometimes. So you really need to think if you needs to add this at all or now. But some things that you really need to add, and many CVs also they do not have, these are like extracurricular activities or like publicity and so on. So what can they be? These are, for example, like participation in mentoring, maybe some media publications, maybe like some public speaking, articles, right? Awards, maybe like, or the articles where some of your project were mentioned. It is very important to add these, and if you have them, if you have these achievements, you need to list them in your resume. You need to write every single one of them. You need to know that your CV is the only document that where you include your achievements that are older than 5 years. We all know, right, that for the Global Talent Visa application, you only need to include your achievements that are not older than 5 years. And sometimes people do that. Sometimes people just write in their CV about 5 years of experience, but I don't think it's a really good idea. I think it's better to include all the relevant experience, because this is the document where the people who will check your application, they can review your progress, how you grew, how you became more and more professional. So I think it's also very important to write about these things. So this is everything that I wanted to mention in this video, talking about the resume, how is it different from the usual job application resume. Thank you for your attention.